Well, good morning. How are you doing this morning? I am looking forward to today's practice and obviously Guinevere in her regular normal routine. I wanted to do a video this morning that's specifically geared toward complete beginners. So, because I had a friend who asked if yoga would be good for just really complete beginners, and you have to start somewhere. So that's what this practice is going to be geared for. All right, so I'm going to get my room ready. Yes. I started my yoga journey in 2000 at college. And the first thing that I learned was that yoga is all about the breath. It's linking your breath with your movements. So I guide and cue a lot of saying inhale and exhale because it's so important. That is the main part of yoga. It's the key component of yoga asana. Asana is the actual physical movement. So in yoga itself, there are 8 limbs. If you can imagine, like cutting a pizza pie, and having each line in between a pizza slice is a limb of yoga. So one of the limbs is asana, which is just the physical postures. And so just wanted to come a little bit closer so we could talk just a little bit first. And so the first is yoga. Well, you have your yamas and niyamas, and we're not going to get into all the different 8 limbs, but the key ones that we work on here in my class here is yoga asana, and we normally do anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes of that. And sometimes we'll do pranayama, which is breath work, and then the last one is meditation. So we do all 3 of those. Meditation is dhyana. So, okay, well, let's get started. So first, since yoga is all about the breath, so you can have different qualities to your breath. So you can just breathe normal. A lot of people breathe from like here up, shallow breathing. But in yoga, we want to have full breathing. So use the whole diaphragm. So that means that your belly will come out when you breathe in. So you can just place your hands on your stomach and see if you can get your abdomen to kind of stick out on your inhale. And then as you exhale, it gets smaller. And that's okay. I mean, especially, I don't know, there's like a stigma to have a small waist, and so you don't want to breathe in, but that's really constricting. It's not bringing, let's just use our full breath. And so that's what we do in yoga, first off, all about the breath. So then you have this, but then there's a second aspect to the breath where you can control the length of inhales and exhales. So to do that, you kind of constrict the back of the throat, like you're gonna clear the throat, like you start. And then if you're gonna go and fog up a mirror, so you have that constriction. And then when you go to yawn, you kind of have a slow yawn because you're constricting the back of the throat. But in yoga, you do that with your mouth closed most of the time, but you still keep that constriction. So as we pair our movements with our breath, then we'll want to constrict the back of the throat. Okay. So yeah, this is a complete beginner's class. We're going to just touch on some key things here for true beginners. So yes, so you can start yoga. It doesn't matter what level you're at. There's always a modification that you can do that will help you get into yoga, get into the postures. And if anything, you can at least start on the breath work, the pranayama. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start to stand a little bit further than hip width distance apart. So miniature schnauzer distance apart here. And we're going to have our hands down by our side. Slight soft bend in the knees, so not locking out the knees. And we're going to just start syncing that breath with our movement. So inhale, let your arms float to the sky, and exhale down, press down. Inhale up, maybe turn palms up, and exhale down. So second key aspect here, when you're pressing your arms up, imagine you're actually pressing something more than just your arms, that you're holding weights in your hands. And that here that you're actually pressing something down. So imagine, then when you do that, you start to press your navel in toward your spine. Adjust my pants here, kind of feel weird. Okay, so yeah, press the navel in toward the spine on the exhale. So then you start to engage the core. And then when you inhale, let the belly fill up. Let it relax, kind of get big. And even as I'm doing that, I don't know if you can hear my stomach. Can you hear that? That's my stomach, because I'm allowing my abdomen to expand out. And when it does that, it's starting to churn the digestive fire. It's starting to get that working and starting to get that activated. So although maybe sticking our bellies out, maybe that's not very beautiful, like according to Vogue magazine, or, just whatever. I'm not picking on Vogue, but just whatever magazine, maybe it's not considered beauty in whatever society. But that is starting to be the key to get stuff moving around here and get our metabolism increased and healthy digestion. Healthy digestion. And healthy digestion is a key to healthy life. Because our digestive system not only processes physical food, we have a system that processes emotional, inputs that we've had. And so what do you think they call emotional eating for? I mean, there's definitely a link between emotion and digestion. All right, so let's continue on with yoga asana. So we're going to practice here, just inhaling the arms up, palms touch, exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, hands down. Good. Inhale, arms up. Palms touch, exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale up and exhale down. Now, if your arms ever get tired, you're welcome to just place them on your hips or send them down by your side. I'm gonna show you triangle pose. So we're gonna have our feet just a little bit further apart. We're going to send the left foot out toward the left, just toes straight ahead, and then our right toes are going to be at this 45-degree angle. So if this is 90 straight out, we're going to bring that in, maybe not quite 45, but to what feels comfortable for your ankle, for your foot, and you're pressing on the outside edge of that back foot, and you're also pressing on the outside edge of this front foot and also connecting with the knuckle right below the big toe. Okay, and just make sure nothing hurts. And if you get fatigued at any point, you're always welcome to make small adjustments. If you're pressing something and you're like, oh, that just doesn't feel right, listen to your body. All right, for triangle pose, our arms are straight out parallel to the floor. Then here we shift our hips back, like we're going to press our hips back against the wall. We're going to reach forward like we're reaching something at the back of the refrigerator, trying to get that can of olives that we forgot. Oh yeah, I want some olives. All right, and then we're going to send the front hand down while we send the back arm up. So we're keeping our arms even with each other here. Now once you get here, let your hand go ahead and come down to your leg. And then you can see if that feels comfortable. Maybe it's up high, maybe it's down lower. The key is to keep from like the navel up to the neck, kind of in a straight line. So this is triangle pose. Feel the arches lifting. So if you're collapsing into the arch or down, let those arches lift. This front leg, no locking out the knees. Keep a slight soft micro bend here. Blocks come in handy, so they're always great to have, even for advanced yoginis, because it adds an extra element, an extra layer of just something interesting for the yoga pose. Because our body is so smart that it just gets accustomed to whatever we do. Okay, so this is triangle pose here. Breathing here, and as you exhale, draw that navel in, and then come up. If your arms get tired, you can always place them down. So we're going to do triangle on the other side. So starting off with feet forward, check in with the heels, make sure that they're in one line. So they're evenly away from the back of the mat. You're just nice alignment here. All right, so then turn the right toes to a 90-degree angle out to the side, straight forward. And then this one, we're going to have our left foot, using the block here, kind of point the toes out at a 45, that direction. You may have to adjust your heel, your toes, and if that doesn't feel comfortable, find a degree that feels comfortable for you. Balance. All right, place my block there. Blocks, you can get them, I've seen them at Walmart. I think that one actually is from Walmart. You can get them from TJ Maxx. Sometimes they have a 2-pack for like $8. Maybe you can find it for a better price. All right, so here we're in triangle on the other side. Remember, if your arms get tired, you can always put them down. And breathing. So we're going to shift our hips back toward the left side, reach forward toward the right, and then turn the front hand down, back arm goes up simultaneously. Good. So your hand may come down to your shin, your knee, your leg. Maybe it just hangs out straight. All that air that I was moving in my stomach, that goes. I think there's actually air stuck in my stomach. We should do, yeah, there it goes. Circles. Yeah, good. Demonstrating with the block here. So in triangle, you'll feel on the inner thigh stretching, and then you may also feel here on the top hip. And it shouldn't feel overstretched. Nothing like too super duper stretched here. All right, coming back up all the way, putting a slight micro bend in the knees, turning the toes forward, and we're going to walk our feet out even more. So we're going to practice something called goddess pose. In Sanskrit, Devi Asana. So your toes can be out at a 40, kind of like at toward the corners of your mat. Just make sure your toes are pointed in the same direction as your knees. And bend your knees. You're always welcome to come back out. So bend your knees and make sure that your heels are far enough away that when you bend your knees are over your heels. Okay, then you can come back up. And we send our arms back parallel to the floor, turn the palms forward, exhaling the fingertips up to the sky. Then on your next exhale, we'll bend the knees. So now this is goddess pose. Breathing here. And on the exhale, squeeze the navel in toward the spine. On your inhale, let the abdomen fill completely. Remember, if you get tired or fatigued, you're always welcome to come out. Or you can stay in. It's up to you. And we'll add some movement here where we're pressing out. So we're going to straighten the knees and the elbows as if we're pressing out the corners of a square, like there's a big old square around us. We just push it out like, no, I ain't gonna be caged in this square. Inhale in, exhale out, press out. And as you press, your navel should go in toward the spine. And then do you ever work like on something called Kegel exercises? It's great for both men and women. As you press out, squeeze the pelvic floor. Good. So this pose is excellent for the 3 bottom chakras. Chakras are energy centers in the body. If your arms are getting tired, you're welcome to just place them on your hips or waist. So the 3 chakras, we have our root chakra, which is located at the tip of our tailbone. The sacral chakra, located at the center of the pelvis. And the solar plexus chakra, right here, right above the navel. So that works on all 3. And if you engage the pelvic floor, press your navel in toward your spine as you're doing that. It's going to help to activate those chakras. The root chakra is great for grounding, just feeling super grounded. So if you're like in this season where like the wind's blowing around, it's like anxiety is high, we don't know what's going on with the world, all this craziness is happening. Root chakra is great for getting really grounded. Sacral chakra is for creativity. And this one, solar plexus, is willpower. So grounding, creativity, and willpower. All right, so we're going to walk the feet back in together. So as part of a regular yoga practice for a beginner, sun salutation is a really great place to start, and it gives you something, just something kind of a routine to start on. And you would only have to do like 20 minutes of yoga a day if you do it every day. All right, I'm just randomly pulling an intention card, because another great thing to do for yoga practice is you set an intention for yourself. And maybe at first, your intention may be, I am very gentle with my body. I listen to myself. I listen to my body. Let's see, that one says, my future is glorious. I now live in limitless love, light, and joy. All is well in my world. I'm going to just pick the next one too. I am at peace with my sexuality. I rejoice in my sexuality and in my own body. My body is perfect for me in this lifetime. I embrace myself with love and compassion. So those are really, really nice power thought cards. And maybe not all of them are for one person, but maybe there's one in there or several in there that are perfect for you today. Okay. So, sun salutation. So sun salutations are a series of different poses where it kind of moves into a flow. So we just did 2 poses, but they weren't flowing. But we can. And what's neat about that is that you sync that flow with your breath, and the breath is the base. So coming to the front of the mat, inhaling the arms up overhead, exhale, swan dive down, bending the knees as much as you need here. Maybe grabbing blocks. Forward folding, walking the knees back and forth, starting to feel gentle stretches in the backs of the legs. If this isn't comfortable for you, you're always welcome to take a modification. Maybe the modification for a forward fold would just simply be standing up and walking the knees back and forth. All right. All right, inhaling to halfway up. Halfway up, we want our heart open forward. So a lot of advanced yoga teachers may say, let's come to halfway up. And they do this, where their fingertips are still on the floor. And honestly, this is just not approachable for most beginners. Maybe some can, but I was not able to do this until, I would just say recently here. So it's better, and it's better for your back and back strengthening, if you can have your hands higher up on your legs or thighs, wherever you need, so that you start to feel mid-back muscles engage, and you'll get some really nice, strong mid-back muscles here. They just like, those, they look great. Okay, so, all right. So here, we're gonna plant our hands around the front feet, and I'm gonna have to move Guinevere. Hang on just a second. She's asleep. I'm sorry, baby, I'm sorry. Sit, there we go. I have my honey lemon water. I need to move that out of the way. All right, so here, planting the hands around the front feet, we're gonna step back here in high runner's lunge. So this is one part. If this isn't comfortable for you, I'll show you a different modification the second time around, and then we come into plank. In plank, you can have your knees off of the ground, you can have your knees on the ground. I'm gonna demo with knees on the ground first. Then we point our toes, take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, you're gonna bend the elbows, keeping them hugged in toward the rib cage, really tight, really close in. Touch the chest to the floor, the chin comes to the mat, and then you're gonna inhale the chest away from the floor. So if you only are here, that's fine. It doesn't have to be a big move for cobra. It can be here. This is great even for those, especially for those back muscles. You can be up here, even for cobra, okay? This is like a more, once you have the flexibility in your spine to do this, but if you feel that it's crunching into your back, keep it down here. Then when you're ready to press to downward facing dog, you'll tuck the toes under, send the hips up to the sky, step up. Good. Deep inhale here. And then just from here, we look between the hands, and you can walk, step, or jump. Now jump is super advanced. I don't even do jump, but some people can. Some people are just naturally have the arm strength to do that. So I generally take one big step up, but you can take small steps. You just walk all the way to the front. Inhaling to halfway up, and exhale, forward folding, bending the knees, sinking the hips, sweeping the arms up nice and wide. Palms touch at the top. Exhale, hands in front of heart center. There's a lot of little intricate details that go into, and that you can expand into this practice. That takes it from just being a generic, like, oh, I'm just moving my arms up. Oh, I'm just bending forward. Oh, no, you can make it a full body experience. Okay, whew. And just by doing that, I am already warmed up. I didn't think I would get too warmed up in the beginner series, but you can, it's awesome. All right, so we're gonna inhale the arms up overhead, exhale, swan diving down. We're just gonna repeat that sequence for the other leg. So we stepped back with the right leg last time. We're gonna step back with the left leg this time. Get a little bit of a high runner's lunge. You're welcome to use your blocks here if you like. Breathing, breathing, breathing. All right, moving the blocks back, planting the hands around that front foot, sliding the front foot back. There's a modification for that. I will show you the modification next time around. Deep inhale here, knees are welcome. I'll show modified once again, rolling shoulders back and down. Deep inhale here, exhale, bending those elbows, keeping them hugged in tight toward the chest, to touch the chest onto the mat. The chin comes onto the mat. And then inhale up, shoulders away from the mat. Tuck the toes under, press the hips up into downward facing dog. Downward dog. The key to downward dog are the wrists. So come down to your knees, sink your hips back, and then look at your wrists. That is a neutral wrist, so take a look. When you're in downward facing dog, you want your wrists to be just about like this in neutral. So come back up to tabletop, press your hips up to the sky, and then look at your wrists. Are they in neutral? Are they in that neutral pose? If not, bend your knees as much as you need to until you get there. So even if your down dog is this, that's fine. And notice when you do that, your arms start to build like the upper body strength, those arm strength. And then from here, you can start to loosen out the calves, the hamstrings, the hips by walking the dog. Good.
All right, taking a deep breath here, looking between the thumbs, and then walking, stepping, or jumping up. I'm just going to step up, demonstrate stepping up. So complete beginner, stepping all the way up, coming to halfway up with hands on thighs, if you like, shins, squeezing those shoulder blades together. Shoulders are coming back toward the spine. Exhale, rounding down, bending your knees, sinking your hips, coming up with a flat back, sweeping the arms out nice and wide, all the way up to extended mountain. Exhale, hands in front of heart center. Good. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, sweep the hands down. Inhale the arms up in front of the heart. All right. Time to shift. Let's see. Sorry. Okay, so taking my jacket off because it's kind of getting warm. All right, so I'm going to show the modification that I was talking about earlier. So we're going to do another set of sun salutations here. So hands come down by your side, roll shoulders back and down, bend the knees, have a nice soft bend in the knees. Heart is open forward, so shoulders are falling away from the ears. Heart is open up. A nice tall spine. And then we're going to inhale, press your soles of your feet, the balls of the feet and the heels into the floor. Inhale the arms up. Exhale down. Good. Inhale up and exhale down. So remember, we're not moving just like using momentum. We're raising the arms up. We're making this a full body experience. Pressing that navel in toward the spine. Inhale up. We're even cat-cowing the back here. So rounding the shoulders forward. We bring our arms down. Inhale, open the heart, arching the back up overhead. Exhale down. Keep your knees soft, not locking them out. All right, palms touch at the top. Exhale, hands in front of heart center. So if doing a forward fold and stepping back in the high runner's lunge is not comfortable for you, this is the modification. So you're going to step back. We're going to step back with the right foot. And here, now we're in high runners, almost. We're in crescent lunge base. Inhale the arms up forward. And then exhale down, sweep the arms back, grab those blocks, okay? So that's how we get here for if forward folding and then stepping back isn't comfortable. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and I'll show another modification after this. So planting the hands around the front feet, stepping back, same thing. So I had showed coming down to knees. If you don't want to come down to your knees, you'll roll your shoulders back and down. Take your gaze in front of your fingertips, 2 or 3 feet. Deep inhale, and as you exhale, then you'll lower. Maybe you hover over the mat, and maybe you come all the way down, pointing the toes, inhaling the chest up, peeling the chest away from the mat, tucking the toes under, sending the hips up to the sky. Deep inhale here, and exhale. Take your gaze between the thumbs, walk, step, or jump all the way up. So we're just doing a series of sun salutations this morning, and I'm demonstrating different modifications. Sorry, that's loud. Inhaling to halfway up, exhale, forward folding, bending the knees. Inhaling, sweeping the arms up, coming up with a flat back all the way to standing. Good. Exhale, hands in front of heart center. Inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale the hands down. Inhale up. And exhale down. Palms touch. Exhale, hands in front of heart center once again, and then we'll step back with the left leg, meeting in high runner's lunge. Send the hands down by your side. Inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold over that front bent knee. Maybe grab those blocks. Grab those blocks. All right, meeting in high runner's lunge. So then we start to get compression in this front bent hip, which is good, getting some of those toxins out, moving the blocks away, placing the hand around that front leg, sliding the front foot back. Once again, I'm going to demo just in regular plank, rolling shoulders back and down, heart is forward. Deep inhale, exhale, bringing the shoulders over the fingers, and then lowering down, keeping the elbows hugged in toward the chest, point the toes, come all the way down. Inhale, peeling the chest away from the floor. Exhale, down, tuck the toes under, press the palms and feet to the floor as you lift the hips to the sky, stepping up with the feet. Bending those knees just as much as you need so you can get that neutral wrist. And then walking the dog here. And then looking between the thumbs, shifting the shoulders forward, beginning to walk the feet all the way to the front of the mat. Inhale to halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Bending your knees, sinking hips with the flat back coming up all the way. Sweeping arms up, inhaling, palms touch, exhaling, hands to heart center. All right, so we're going to show a different way to get into different modification for sun salutation. So we're going to start at the back of the mat. So this is the third modification here. Excuse me. Inhaling the arms up overhead, exhale, swan dive down, planting those hands on the mat, then walking the hands out. Okay. So here we skipped the high runner's lunge and we just came into plank. You can use your knees here. Deep inhale, keep those elbows hugged in toward the chest. Touch the chest to the floor, chin to the floor, point the toes. Inhale, the heart up away from the mat. Exhale, tuck the toes, send the hips up to the sky. Step those feet up just as much as you need, meeting in downward facing dog. Deep inhale here, and then we're going to walk the hands back. So just a different modification for sun salutation. Inhale to halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Bending knees, sinking hips. Inhale, the arms up overhead. Palms touch. Exhale, hands in front of heart center. Inhale, the arms up overhead, swan dive down. Plant the hands on the knees, shins or thighs, inhaling to halfway up. Exhale down, walking the hands out. So we're just doing it once again, demonstrating it once again. Coming into high plank. Rolling shoulders back and down, knees are welcome here. Deep inhale, as you exhale, we're gonna bend those elbows, keeping them hugged in toward the ribs. Touch the chest to the floor. Inhale, point the toes, peel the shoulders away from the floor. Exhale, tuck the toes, send the hips to the sky. Another key point in downward facing dog is that you want your palms to be pressing into the mat. Fingers are spread nice and wide. Deep inhale and exhale through the whole thing. Great, and then we're going to walk the hands back. Inhaling to halfway up, exhale, forward folding, bending knees, sinking hips, sweeping arms out nice and wide, coming up with a straight back, palms touch, exhale, hands in front of heart center, good. So we did 3 different versions of sun salutations, and we did that 2 times each, so 6. So before I became a yoga teacher, that's what I would do. I would do basically 6 sun salutations, and that would be my morning workout. And then I might add some stretches after that. But for the most, if I was running low on time, I would just do that and be on my way. And 10, 20 minutes. 20 minutes is good. And that's it. So that's kind of like where are we at on time? We're good, we still have time. Okay, so I'm gonna show you some stretches with a strap. Let me grab a strap. These will help you with flexibility, and we do them in most of every class that I teach. So you can get a strap. This one is from Amazon, and I got a 10-foot strap. 6 foot would work also, it just depends on your height. All right, so moving my blanket out of the way. We're just going to come all the way down. Yeah. All right, so straps are wonderful for many things. So before we go all the way down, I would like to show you even how they're great for, like if you're going to do you know, we had to do this test in school where they put the box and there's that ruler thing there and you're like, I can do it. Well, I mean, I was so lazy back then in school. I would not practice that, and I would just like, okay, I can get there. So I would just kind of warm up, like right before we took, I think we all did that. We probably just all were like, oh, we just want to do the best we can. Well, with a strap, you place it around the balls of your feet. You have your toes pointed up to the sky, nice tall spine, and then you move your heart forward. And you use these, keep your back flat. Now, if your toes go out, that might mean you can go forward a little bit more. But if you bring your toes in, it'll help stretch the calves and the backs of the legs even more. So I like to do this with a flat back. And here you can see we start to squeeze our belly whenever we forward fold, but it's good for our digestion to do that. So we just keep breathing. And notice I can grab like the bottoms of my feet if I really want to, but there's something really nice about having the strap. And then you kind of get to have an extra arm workout here too. If you pull the strap, then you're like, yeah, working out the arms, tricep, bicep as well. I start to feel this even in my sacrum and around the muscles on the glutes around the sacrum. And it doesn't have to be an intense stretch. It can be very gentle. All right, walking the hands back. And I'm gonna come down, so the stretch I was just talking about. So in yoga, every session would be great if it had side bends, which we got into that when we were doing a little bit of the triangle pose, twists, inversions. So for inversion, you can take the strap around the ball of one foot, send that up, and then if it's comfortable for you, you'll take the other foot up in the strap as well. So this is an inversion that you can do. You can even have your legs up against a wall. Hungry. Okay. So this encourages lymph to flow down the legs. We want that because the lymph system carries waste, and everybody has like just some natural cellulite, but if you have a lot, sometimes that's indicative of lymphatic backup. All right, so then we're going to take the left leg out of the strap, leave the right leg up, take the strap into the left hand, the right arm goes out by your side. So you can have your arm out by your side like a T or cactus arm. Deep inhale here, and then as you exhale, draw that foot across the body. So this is getting into our twists. I'm gonna move okay, so I can do my twist. Okay, so your hip can stay on the floor at first and just draw the foot across the body so it really gets into the muscles of the back of the leg and in the hip. But as you're ready to move forward through this pose, and you keep both feet flexed here while you're doing this, so even the leg that's extended out long. And you bring the hip, almost stacking this hip on top. We've got a Guinevere here. You can hold the strap as close or far away from your foot as you like. Eventually, you won't even need the strap when you do this pose. Eventually, you will be able to use your peace fingers to grab your big toe and come all the way across. if you practice it every day. You don't have to practice it every day. Just practice it consistently. All right, bringing that strap. The strap just makes it really nice and accessible. So strap is wonderful. All right, so taking the strap into the right hand, left arm goes out by your side, and then we draw our foot away from the body. And then you can slide your hand down the strap just enough so that your elbow comes to the floor. Yeah. All right, and we bring the foot back to midline, and then we're going to switch the strap to the other foot. Pressing the heels away from the body, so out. Take the strap into the right hand, left arm goes out by your side like a T. Then we're going to draw that foot across the body, keeping the left hip on the floor just as much as possible at first, so just to start getting into the back of the leg, into the hip. All right, and if you're ready, you can go ahead and let that foot come across the body even more. Notice the foot that's extended long. It comes out so that the outer edge of that foot comes to the floor. And both feet continue to be flexed here. Your foot may not come all the way to the floor. It may be hovering over the floor. That's okay. I used to get kind of discouraged whenever I would see other people being able to do like full expressions of poses. But then my primary care doctor had told me that, and it just brought me some comfort, that even like in modification, even a person who does modification is still getting the full benefit of that person who's able to do the full expression of the pose. And so I was like, well, when you think about it that way, then we're all getting 100%, doing the yoga poses. And it's a very personal journey. It's a very personal experience. Everyone's body looks different. One down dog for one person looks different for another person's down dog. And that's fine. All right, we're going to send that foot back up to the sky. Take the strap into the left hand. Your right arm goes out by your side. Notice the extended leg on the floor. The toes are pointed up toward the sky now. Deep inhale, and then exhaling the left foot out toward the left, sliding that hand down first, grounding your elbows and upper arms on the floor. Then allow that foot to go out. Good. Super enjoyed this. I enjoyed talking about getting really in detail, nitty-gritty with the different poses and showing different modifications. Not staying here too long. We're going to bring that foot back up to the sky and then release the strap to the side. So very important pose. I know a lot of people just get up and want to leave and not even finish with this last pose, but it's important to take this time to scan the body. Let the body feel heavy. Let the mind, think of it as a snow globe. We've just been shaking up the snow globe doing this yoga. So all the things, the little snowflakes have been moving throughout our bodies if we were the snow globes. And so in the pose of rest, the pose of Shavasana, it's important to let all of those little flakes of snowflakes, settle down and come down. So it's not only, and they're not that they're real flakes of snow in the body, but it's just kind of a metaphor. But also the thoughts, so that letting the thoughts also settle down just like those snowflakes do in the snow globe. So begin to take your awareness to your breath, and we'll take our attention, since we talked about the chakras today, take it to the tip of your tailbone, your awareness. Just imagine the tip of your tailbone. Feel that, like have a felt sense of that area. And then bring your awareness to the very center of your pelvis, your sacral chakra. And then the space just above your navel, about 2 inches above your navel, your solar plexus chakra. And then take your awareness to your breath. And anytime the mind begins to wander and start thinking about stuff, which it's going to do, and that's fine. Don't follow the story of your thoughts, of your mind. Follow your breath. Bring your attention back to your breath. Beginning to wiggle fingers and toes. Taking in a deep breath. Stretching the arms overhead, bending the knees up. Maybe windshield wipering. As if your knees are windshield wipers, move them back and forth. Receiver back on. All right, and then pressing up. Good. Very nice. Thank you for your practice today. The divine light and the divine grace that is in me recognizes and appreciates the divine light and grace that is absolutely, positively in you. Namaste. All right, I'll stop this and get into some pranayama and meditation. Hang around if you like.